This is Colin Baker speaking, the Sixth Doctor, but you are the lucky ones because you are travelling the Vortex.
Traveling the Vortex. Side trip.
We've joined the Doctor as he travels the Vortex and landed at Gallifrey 1's 25 glorious years. I'm Sean.
I'm Mel.
I'm Michelle.
How is everybody?
I'm nice now. I'm getting out of the hot tub.
There was hot tubbing tonight.
Yes.
We needed it after a very long day.
Yes.
Another long day. Another good day, though.
Yes. Ended on a high note.
It did?
I think so.
Why did it end on a high note?
We met some very, very interesting people, including a young lady who is 6 years old by the name of Sadie.
And what did Sadie tell you?
Sadie totally blew my mind away.
Maybe more accurate, what didn't Sadie
Yeah.
tell you?
Sadie is a very young, very interesting young lady who is totally... I think she could probably beat Sean in a Doctor Who trivia contest.
In a new series, she totally could.
I
would. There's no doubt in my mind that she could beat me in a new series trivia contest.
To me, it sounds like she's very knowledgeable about most or some of the classic too.
Mm-hmm.
She is.
Mm-hmm.
She's very knowledgeable.
So, and
we had a very interesting discussion about the time of the Doctor and the regeneration.
She was a hoot. She was
very, very. I totally blew my mind. So that was our relaxing hour in the hot tub, is sitting there in the hot tub with Sadie and her mom and another gentleman, Michelle, and myself and Sean. We were just geeking out talking about Doctor Who. Oh, and then the friend of theirs, David, joined us. He was standing outside the hot tub, and we just geeked out and talked Doctor Who and other geek stuff for about an hour.
Because, it's not like we're at a convention. I mean, we had to go to the hot tub to talk Doctor Who. It was terrible.
Yeah, horrible.
What a rough day today. Well, what else did you guys do? What did you do? What did you start the day with? Which panel did you start with?
Panels,
It wasn't Big Finish. That was later.
That was...
What was first on the list today? I don't even remember. Pull out my...
Yeah, pull out the... It's near the middle.
Sweet. This is how you did.
I first did the Creating Prisoners of Time.
Oh, the IDW comic book
the
panel.
IDW did, yeah.
How was it?
It was good. And then went over to Maine for the Paul McGann and reunited.
Which we all sat in on the Paul McGann, which was phenomenal.
Yes, because I can't remember who the gentleman that was hosting or talking about it, but he tried to stay away from.
It was Jason Hay-Ellery, who's the head of Big Finish.
Oh yes, yeah, I remember. Yeah, he tried to stay away from talking about the inevitable 6 minutes of fame. He really tried hard
up until about halfway through.
And then they brought out the young lady that played.
Didn't they? Then they brought her out. They brought her out, and then they showed it.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually, we watched Night of the Doctor in main programming A, which Paul admitted he had not watched yet.
It was his first time watching it.
So we got to see Night of the Doctor with Paul McGann in the room, seeing it for the first time.
Yeah, so partway through, I actually started, instead of watching the show because I'd seen it, I started watching him, seeing how his reaction. Because this is his first time, and it's So...
You think we squeed hard when it came on the first time?
I got goosebumps again.
Yeah.
I did. I got goosebumps.
Oh
seeing him on screen, playing Night of the Doctor and sitting on the couch.
Screen.
Yeah.
Big screen,
The big screen in main programming. That was amazing.
He was pretty blown away by it. It was an impressive...
he kept saying, that was amazing.
He really was. He was almost dumbstruck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was really,
and he
really
seems to like seeing like slumped down on the couch, like
he was
partway
relaxed.
through. He slumped, because he was like that in the Big Finish that I went to yesterday, where he was slumped down on the couch, like talking.
Paul's a very low key,
Yeah, he's
jeans and a t-shirt almost kind of guy,
Yeah.
Although I've never seen him in anything other than some sort of either zippered up sweater pullover type thing, and he's always got a scarf. He's always got something wrapped around his neck. When he was signing autographs, he had that wrap. And I wonder how I should have asked the Night of the Doctor costume. That scarf, I wonder how much was maybe his influence, because even his costume on the Dark Eyes. He's got a scarf on, so I wonder if that's kind of his thing. Yeah. But yeah, that was pretty amazing. And then Reunited, which was an attempt to get Yates, Benton, Joe, and Terrence Dix to talk about the unit years.
Yeah, and matter of fact, I think it was like 35 minutes into it that the gentleman hosting the panel says, I believe we're supposed to be talking about unit stuff here. So, yeah.
And instead it was full of,
poking and prodding.
A little poking, a little prodding.
Richard and John were poking at each other.
Good-natured joshing.
Kate was picking at Terrence. I mean, it was...
Katie telling long stories.
Long stories.
And Terrence really dominating the conversation with long stories. And hawking a couple of books and CDs and whatnot.
Yes.
But it was still cool. It was still an amazing thing. And then, of course, you can't get this group of people together without starting to talk about the brig. And
that kind of brought everybody down.
And Pertwee. And wow, the feels at that point. Because everybody in the room's just kind of like, aw, and they're, aw. And
they're like, okay, let's talk about something different.
Yeah, that was actually kind of rough.
Yeah.
And what did you do after that?
I went to the Breaking Into TV Writing, because that's what I kind of, so I went to that. And
do you feel like you can break into TV writing now?
Well, I don't know, maybe, because the big place in Canada is Toronto, so if I go to Humber next year, like I'm hoping, that should make it easier.
They give you any good ideas? Or what to look for?
It's mostly about, like, writing, because a lot of it's like you just write.
Just keep writing.
And one of the things is like take an existing episode and like sort of reverse engineer it, write the script and the beat sheet for the existing episode of the show, so you get an idea of how it's done and like how the show
kind of the breakdown, the structure,
the structure of the show and like that sort of thing.
I think
that's cool. I kind of wish I'd gone to that one.
Yeah, it was really interesting. So
I think
I'm definitely gonna have to start doing more writing and like spec scripts and that sort of thing. And then I think after that I went down to the dealer's room and started collecting companion autographs, which I got most of, but I'm holding out to get Daphne when I get Paul tomorrow, because I was holding out to get Paul's till I got the photo op with him. So I'm gonna.
And who else are you getting tomorrow?
Fraser Hines. Because
you don't have to say why. You don't have to.
Well, he wasn't at his table when I
went
by.
Road.
No. We weren't going to rat you out.
I'm not going to rat you out and throw you under the bus.
Nope.
Even if it was something that Chrissy would have been upset about. But we're not going to go there. We'll just leave it there.
Yeah. So
we got shushed. Did you hear that? We got shushed.
Well, deservedly so.
So I have to get those tomorrow.
Now, ballpark. I don't want an exact figure because it's none of my business, and it's certainly none of their business. How much do you think you spent today?
Oh, quite a bit.
Oh, you came back in the thing, and you had bags under both arms.
Yeah, under both arms, yes.
Not like I went like here's a little bit like shopping bags, like Pretty Woman shopping bags.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good analogy. Pretty Woman.
You remember me? You wouldn't wait on me. Big mistake. That's how much bags you had. You had bags and boxes full of stuff and TARDISes and CDs and
Well,
autographs and photos and all kinds of stuff.
Because I got the Destiny of the Doctor, the TARDIS box set with the bonus interview CD, which was like quite pricey in itself.
It's really expensive. I went back and looked at it after you, and I was like, yeet.
And both Dark Eyes box sets and a poster from them.
Did they give you the poster free?
No.
Because you spent, and they wouldn't even throw in a free poster?
No.
Now this isn't just for my education. This isn't the official Big Finish table. It's just a dealer that has a lot of Big Finish stuff, right?
It's the Doctor Who shop, which I get. It was which is the American. They're the ones who sell Big Finish in America.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
So I got a Day of the Doctor poster because it's like the official poster.
Are you going to be able to cart all this home? Are you going to have to pay extra for your suitcase?
She's going to have to check 2 bags, one for her clothes and one for her finds, her treasures, her preciouses.
I hope so.
I mean, you've got a little bit more room from the stuff that you gave us.
Because I have space from taking out the Yahtzee that I gave you. So.
Oh yeah, spoilers, Glenn. Guess what I've got in my possession?
And guess what we're gonna play?
Guess who she gave it to, Glenn? Guess who's not getting it, Glenn? Guess who she likes better than you, Glenn? I'm poking the bear with a stick.
Yeah.
I'm totally embarrassing Michelle. That's really the point of that. Yeah. Chrissy's sitting at home right now going, I should have warned her. Sean's going to be mean.
It's fine. But yeah, so I have space from taking that out. And I'm planning on actually taking the poster in my carrying it on the plane.
Yeah, I don't know that I trust that in the suitcase.
Yeah, because I'm not sure how well it would travel in the suitcase, so I'm taking it on one of my bags. Because you can have 2 bags. So one of my bags will have the poster in it. So to make sure nothing happens to it.
Well, Mel and I did a lot of exploring today. We went and did a bunch of stuff that we don't normally do.
Picture taking too.
Because we were fairly successful in knocking out all of our autographs and kind of souvenir hunting yesterday, we were able to really just kind of focus on soaking in the atmosphere of the con. And I took a zillion pictures with my new camera and some great cosplay and really.
The cosplay was just.
We say this every year that the cosplay seems to go up a notch.
It does, but I mean, it's just amazing the time and effort that people put into and what they come up with for costumes. I'm totally jealous.
I'm working on getting those posted on the website. Apologies, I suppose I should have led with this. Apologies first and foremost to everybody who's listening. The connections suck. It's been really, really rough to attempt to get anything sent out. I haven't Instagrammed anything. I haven't tweeted anything. My phone keeps locking up. It doesn't like the free internet that the Marriott provides. Not that it's working all that much, but again, you've got 3,200 people all trying to log on at the same time. And we've said before, the Marriott, the basement is forget it for signal, so you have to kind of go outside. And
the belly of the M is what we're going to call it.
Yeah, the belly of the M. And not the Merkin, but might as well be. We might as well have been swallowed by a Merkin. So it's just kind of been a horrible, horrible thing. So I apologize that the updates aren't quite getting as... I just want to bombard you all with stuff, and it really hasn't happened. So you probably get it once we all get back.
I got a picture of this girl who she had costume elements from like all of the Doctors. So and then one that was a woman who had like a dress that was inspired by the 6th Doctor's coat. I got a couple pictures. I got a couple pictures of her. And,
just really good stuff.
One thing from when I was collecting my companion autographs is Arthur Darvill likes my name. He thinks I have a great name because he saw like my name on my badge and it was pointed out to him by his handler. And he said that I had a great name and congratulations on the name.
To which you replied.
And to which I had the presence of mind to reply, thanks, my parents gave it to me.
Speaking of Arthur Gargle, we have a special message for Sarah, who's not listening to this because she does not listen to our podcast, but I'm sure Keith will back it up and play it for her, or cue it up so that she can listen to it. And Sarah, Arthur says that he's sorry he missed you. He would really have liked to have met you.
And he has a proposition.
And he says that if you come the next time, that he may just run away with you to England, and you can come live with him. Keith is now hurriedly backing up the tape so that he can erase it from the computer.
Delete.
He's doing his Cyberman impression right now.
Yeah.
It's funny, we joked about that, and it's like, Sarah would laugh, and then she would turn and look at Keith and go, "See ya." No offense, Keith. We're poking fun at you. Of course, he's Rory the Roman. What are you going to do? Nice guy. Really nice guy. We did we kind of went out on the pool area, mainly because of this game. Every year Galley does a game, and some years there's pictures hidden all over the place, and you have to figure out where the pictures are at and decode clues and whatnot. This year it's a sticker hunt. And you go into these different places and collect stickers, and there's spots for them in your book for each year of the con. And then when you get the book completed, you go down to member services and you get something amazingly cool, a prize of game show proportions. It's probably a ribbon, but
It was one year.
So we're Mel and I are down to like 2 stickers now. We're very excited about this. But we on our sticker hunt, we went out to the pool area, and it was really.
It was a totally different atmosphere out there.
Surreal. Because the con down in downstairs, the lobby's always busy and noisy.
Yeah.
And then down in the con, it's like serious and business. Even though it's a fun atmosphere and everything, it's the con. The pool was like, it was like Bob Marley on the radio, Jamaica Man, no problem. And there's these people everywhere with half Silurian heads and coats draped over chairs, and they're all just lounging in the Barco loungers, kicked back with drinks, and it's like a Doctor Who convention crashed on a pleasure planet. And you're like, what happened here? Because it's weird.
And people doing little miniature ribbon trades in various little
clusters.
Yeah.
You would see one bag of ribbons would come out, and all of a sudden,
yeah.
It was like watching 4-year-olds play soccer, where there's just that cluster of kids around the ball, and nobody's really playing offense or defense. It was like that with ribbons. But this woman kept waving at us. She's, the siren song, "Come hither, come hither." And I'm like, "Who, us?" She's like, "Yeah, let's come in." So we walked all the way down the thing, and she's like, "Come have a cup of tea."
What? Sean's like, "Come this way." I'm like, "Why?" "She's calling me." I'm like, "Who's calling you?"
I don't know.
I don't know who she is. Let's go see.
Women call me. I go. What can I say?
So we go over to this lady, and she kind of reminds me of the Brady Bunch mommers, and she just did she? She was just a really homey, really open, nice lady who's like, "Come in and have cookies and tea."
It was
literally okay.
the scene out of the 50s.
Yes.
Where the Beeve's been running around playing,
Exactly.
and he goes to the neighbor's house, and she's like, "I have milk and cookies on the table."
That's
He's like,
what
"Okay, thank you, Mrs. So-and-so."
Totally Bee's mom. But her apron, did you see? Her apron had Daleks on it.
She had Daleks on her apron. It should have been a tip-off. There might have been arsenic in those cookies.
Yeah.
But it was just, they had the hospitality suite set up, and they were doing tea time. It was tea o'clock. This is what... So the whole thing was done as this big British thing, and we walked in, and there were crumpets, and there were shortbread cookies, there were Jemmy Dodgers, and tea. And I'm like, "Rock on! I'm going to have a cup of tea!" And I don't remember now what it was. They told me, and it was a stout English black. I remember that, but I don't remember the name of it.
It was really good, though.
It wasn't Earl Grey, because I've had that. It had a short name. But it was actually really good tea. And I had a Jammy Dodger and liked it. Now, I should specify, this Jammy, they had different shapes. There were some that were like little kind of diamond-shaped ones, and some that had little hearts in the middle. They did not at all resemble the nasty ones that we sampled on the podcast. So I'm going to have to see if we can find this other brand. I should have asked what it was. This other brand of Jammy Dodger to find out what it was. But
we shall go have cookies tomorrow.
I've got
you're reading my mind.
Yeah.
Jammy Dodgers that have a heart in the middle.
Well, the ones that we tried were just kind of the little round ones with a red dot. It's like a shortbread cookie with a red dot of jam kind of stuffed in the middle somewhere. And I mean, there was a layer in there, but it was just, yeah, it was horrible. But these were the little smaller ones, and it was a much darker jam. But it was really good, so I was impressed with that. And they were just hanging out, having tea. You know?
And it was really odd because not even 5 minutes before that, I told Sean, I was like, I'm getting kind of hungry. And I don't know what led us out to the pool other than to search for the sticker, but when she's like, cookies, we're like, yeah.
Yeah.
So then we went next door to the other, I think it's also part of the hospitality suite. I'm not sure what it is. Which they've always had, but we've never gone.
Yeah.
We've just, the hospitality suite, and we're like, you're already hospitable enough. I don't need to go.
New rule for
Galley.
New rule for Galley. Always visit the hospitality room every day. These people are awesome. They provide you with water, pop if you really wanted to drink pop, but they also provide you with snacks that will keep you alive. Right, Michelle? For those people that will not stop gawking at panels to go eat.
It's simple things. It's fruit snacks and cookies and juice, that kind of stuff. But
yeah. I refilled my water bottle there.
In a con environment where there's this much stuff going on and you're nonstop, I got to go here, then here, then here, then here, and now I'm going to look. My downtime is spent in the dealer's room. It was really nice just kind of be able to go and hang. And I only planned on stopping in just to see what it was, and we spent almost half an hour kind of floating around between the three areas.
They had fresh fruit too. We had the baby halos, or I don't know what they call them.
Clementines, oranges,
whatever they call them, and it was like. I stopped and told her, I said, thank you so much for providing something other than junk food. Because so often or not, when you're at a con, that's what you live off of is junk food. So it was nice to have real, food in my mind, fresh fruit to eat.
But it was just a nice little respite from the day, and then you kind of go back and do your thing. And that helped you, I think.
That helped me before my Palm Again photo, because after you said about that, I was feeling a little hungry, so I went down and I had some snacks.
Right now, I have to set the scene here. I'm going to poke fun at you, but I have to set the scene here a little bit. So we bumped back into Michelle afterwards, and we're telling her, okay, you got to go over here to get the sticker, and you got to go over here to do this, and have you checked this out yet? And did you see the such and such? Blah 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 blah. And I looked at her and I was like, so what's next on your thing? She was like, I got Paul McGann in 45 minutes. I'm going to go get my photo with Paul McGann. And I looked at you, and you had this dark shadows. Johnny Depp just walked out of the black and white, You were really, really pale. Just
go eat something.
And I asked, I said, have you had anything to eat today? She said, no. I was like, you should go over to the hospitality suite right now. We're playing parents. Go eat something. And she's like, I can't. I'm going to eat my Paul. I was like,
then you need to hurry. That's what Sean said.
You really need to go get something.
He looks at her and goes, then you need to hurry, don't you?
So I stayed there probably 15 minutes and then went up to get in line for Paul. And it helped. So
just a little pick-me-up.
Just a little pick-me-up. And now tell us about Paul. So you got in there, you got your photo, and you get queued up, and you walk in.
Yeah.
And there he is.
Yeah, there he is. And he shook my hand first. And he said my hand was cold.
She's not alive.
So, and then got the picture and went out and...
Come on, you gotta allow. He put his arm around you and he
I passed out.
You were all like...
Yeah.
Little squee.
Squee, nothing. When I touched the man, I about passed out. She has more self-control than I do then.
She's just not talking about it.
Because I noticed he was about the same height as me.
He's about your height, isn't he?
About.
Yeah. A little taller, not much.
Yeah.
So then, after you recovered, you went and saw the quote, Inspector Spacetime, unquote, panel.
Yes. And that was amazing. They showed when they filmed it was the season 2 prequel. Now it's the movie prequel because they were going to do season 2, but now they're doing a movie. with, guess who? Sylvester McCoy is in it.
Woot.
Yeah.
Now, just a little backstory. This is the kind of Doctor Who spoof show on Community.
Yeah.
It's called Inspector Spacetime, but they are not allowed to use that title. So what is the official name?
The untitled motion picture about a space traveler who also travels in time.
Yeah, some guy told us, and it's like, yeah, okay, it's Inspector yeah, no.
They're
We can call it that.
We
For
can
legal
call it
reasons,
that,
they cannot
but
call
they're
it
not allowed to officially call it.
And it's actually
that.
Travis Ritchie playing the same thing. And he was there today, right?
Yeah, he was there, and Eric, what's his name? Who plays Boyish the Extraordinary, which is the Inspector's
companion.
No, well, it's sort of his arch nemesis, but there's a good version who is now the companion-ish. Because in the first season, they encountered him, and then Boyish found an evil version of the Inspector. So then the Inspector went out and found a good version of Boyish.
Now, how many episodes did season 1 run?
It was...
Ballpark.
I don't remember.
10, 12, 15, 20, 40, 70.
No, it was just a small-ish...
Maybe 6.
I don't remember.
Okay.
Ish, maybe.
Probably not double digits then.
I don't think so.
Okay.
But,
well, maybe,
yeah.
that's a short enough run. I could probably put that on my watch list and get to it.
It was just this short little season, and then there was the season 2 prequel, which followed immediately on from that, and which is then now going to lead into the movie.
Because they've decided instead of doing a second season,
they're doing a movie so they can get investors, and they're doing a Indiegogo campaign for pre-production.
And they've already got funds. They've
already got
Indiegogo tonight.
Like
a couple hours ago from when we're recording this.
Because when I went to the panel, they said they hadn't got it up yet. So then, in between then and now, they got it up and already got like $500 funding.
So they've already had funding pledged to the movie, and they've got Paul McGann. They've got Sylvester McCoy as part of it.
And
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's really pretty cool. Well, while you were doing that, we went over to a little thing called Young Justice.
And the only reason, I might back up a minute and say the only reason that we decided to go to Young Justice is I happened to be walking down the hallway, and a young lady who dressed as Pertwee, was film playing Pertwee, was staring at the big schedule that they print out and put it on the wall, and she goes, "Oh, look, Brent Spiner." And my ears popped up. And I'm like, I know him. He's on our wall. Why are you talking about Brent Spiner at a Doctor Who convention? So after she left, I went to look at the wall to figure out, there's Brent Spiner's name. Young Justice. What's this Young Justice? Sean, we need to go investigate.
So we kind of cleared our schedule and went, well, we don't really have anything else going on at the moment, so we went to check out what this, and I kind of sort of knew it was something DC Justice League related, DC superheroes, but I'm not familiar with it at all, and apparently it's a young group of superheroes kind of banding together and coming of age with superpowers.
It's superheroes as teenagers is what it is, basically.
And it's an animated TV show. And Brent Spiner apparently plays the voice of the Joker.
Which is awesome.
Which I did not know. And so we went. I will freely admit we went. We are the most horrible panel fans in the world when it comes to something like this, because we went down strictly for the point of seeing Brent Spiner. And I got great photos of Brent Spiner. But we became good panel fans because listening to these guys talk really intrigued us about this show. And so it's totally now going to be on our watch list because of something. Because we love Justice League. We've talked about that on the show, that we've been working our way through it. So we're real excited now that, this it's not part of that continuity, but, why not? I'll throw something in there. Yeah. And it just sounds like a really interesting thing. And you had another in a long line of things that was canceled before its time. So unfortunately it's not on the air anymore.
Did it put on Fox?
Probably. I don't know. Warner with WB Network. I don't know, but I'll do some research and let you know on that. But so yeah, I was really there's Brent Spiner, and I attempted at that point to tweet out, how cool is your con? How awesome is your convention that Brent Spiner is here? And it's a footnote. It's an afterthought. He's just here, and for the one thing, and that's it. That's Gallifrey. That really kind of almost sums up us, because there are book authors here that I really should be oohing and awing over, because they've written a slew of Star Trek novels that I've read. Tons and tons and tons of these things. And I haven't even gotten near their tables yet. And I don't mean that as a slight to those guys. I just mean that there's that much to do. It's such a huge...
One of the first things, the guy who produced, or the gentleman that was running the panel, he was the writer, showrunner of Young Justice. And first thing he said, he goes, "We have nothing at all planned for this panel. We are here for you. Anything you want to ask us on the board, go for it." And of course, somebody went for it. So, Data. One of the questions asked was, did you find it very hard, going from Data to playing Joker in this? And he goes, well, I didn't actually go from playing Data to this, but yeah, he said it was tremendously...
Well, first, Brent Spiner's a very, very fun guy. If you ever get the opportunity to see Brent Spiner at a con, definitely go, because he's very humorous and funny. And of course, his first reaction was, "No, they're the same character." No, I'm kidding. He had a Data and the Joker, sure, right? But yeah, it was a lot of fun. So it's definitely something that we've added to our. Now I've got two. We'll have to do Inspector Spacetime as well.
Yeah.
So
after that, we went to Trial of the Time Lord.
Yes, the kind of big wrap up for the day. After Billy and Rory, I keep doing that. Billy and Arthur had separate interview panels today, which we did not sit in on because they're duplicating that programming. So they basically had half the con in there today, and hopefully the other half tomorrow. So we're going to go to some of tomorrow's panels.
Tomorrow, yeah. Well, because I didn't go to that because I had my Paul McGann photo op smack in the middle.
Yeah. But so then we kind of ended the day with Trials of a Time Lord, which was David Banks and Nicola Bryant, and obviously Colin Baker,
and
Fraser Hines, and then Dominic Glenn. Look, Dr. Phil, I remembered one, who composed all the music for that era, or at least a good chunk of it. And it was really, in my mind, I don't know about you guys, it walked that double-edged sword between being very informative and kind of really painting a wide paintbrush of all the crap that Colin had to put up with, and the production, and all the just rotten things that happened, and yet never became mean-spirited, never became depressing or down, because the people that are up on stage have such genuine love and affection
for Doctor
Who and for each other. Just watching Fraser interact with Colin and Colin interact with Nicola, we laughed so much in that.
Yeah, we did.
It was just a hoot to sit and listen to these guys talk about
and
that.
And Nicola's reaction when Fraser only mentioned Pat and having fun with Pat and Colin.
Nicola got kind of offended and started, crying. And
I had a great time working with Colin and Pat. And she's motioning
sitting right next to him. Yeah.
And then after that, she and Colin
switched
places. So she was on Colin's other side.
Just to get away from him.
Wow.
And you can tell, these just having so much fun.
It totally opened up my eyes again, even deeper as far as what an actor Colin Baker is. A total even more appreciation of who he is and what he's about. Nicola, all of them, their interactions with each other.
He told the story about the scene in Mind Warp where he's torturing Perry.
Yeah.
And that he played it as if it was fiction, like that was part of the evidence that had been altered by the Valiant and stuff.
Because no one could give him
No one could give him an answer on how he should play that, so he decided to play it as if it was evidence that had been tampered with. And he told that's one of the stories he told at Fan Expo.
And one thing, and I don't know if you want to go too deep into this now or save it for later, but Colin Baker pointed out something that I didn't realize until the gentleman hosting the show brought up that Trial of the Time Lord was at that point in the Doctor Who's life where it was shaky.
Oh.
You know, and he's like, he was really pushing it and kind of poking the bear, so to speak, with doing this episode, Trial of the Time Lord, while Doctor Who was kind of on trial.
I did know that because Keith and I watched, when we reviewed it, we watched a little bit of the behind the scenes and the documentary features, and there's a special on one of those discs where Colin Baker relays that story, that he was kind of, I don't know.
I think I've seen that too.
I don't know how I feel about that, and I didn't make that connection at the time that I watched it until hearing him say that, and then going back when we were watching them for Friday Night Who's, it was kind of like, oh wow, there's a lot of subtext to that story that is really poking BBC with a stick, going, you know.
Well, and Nicola making the comment about when that gap happened, when they got, you know, put off or whatever, she said that because of her contract, that her 3-year contract was a part of that, you know, hiatus or whatever.
It kept going on during the hiatus, so that's why she left at the end of partway through Trial of a Time Lord.
That I thought was a really fascinating story, because I didn't know that it's you know, it's yet another in a long chapter, or yet another chapter in a long saga of those just kind of unfortunate missteps that Doctor Who has kind of suffered. That we could have had a whole nother season of Colin and Nicola, but because of the hiatus, they kind of, you know, shot themselves in the foot. She was under contract, and Colin was getting paid even though he wasn't doing any episodes. She was under contract even though she wasn't doing any episodes. So then when it came time to come back, oh, your contract's up, because we had to count that year. I was like, man, that really kind of just sucks.
But she, you know, she was asked or given the chance, well, I'll fight for you to come back, but I don't know if it's going to happen. And she, so to speak, took the big man approach, and it's like, no, I've had a good run of it. You know, and she was very happy with the way that they gave her a proper ending. I was like, they shaved your head. That's not giving you a proper.
Well, and I suppose it depends on who you really talk to, because if you ask Nicola, my understanding is if you ask Nicola when she talks about, you know, I wanted to go out with a bang, in her mind, as far as she's concerned, she's dead.
Yes.
The character of Perry died at the end of that.
Yes.
The whole fictional, you know, tack on at the end of, oh, she married King Ekranos and they lived happily ever after, you know, her and Brian Blessed. She's really not happy with that ending, because it kind of cheapened what she felt was the setup for it.
Because she wanted to go with a bang, which is what happened at the end of Mind Warp.
And she said she felt like she did, so.
So I don't think she's kind of retconned it in her head that didn't happen.
The ending was,
I'm sorry, Nicole. I like to think of you and Brian Blessed, you know, together and blissful and screaming at each other.
Yes.
But
when is Brian Blessed going to come to the galley?
Don't go off on that now.
Okay.
Anyway.
So, but yeah, like I said, it was just just yet another in a long line of really cool panels that you know, these people put together, and you know. And
David Banks brought up something. He mentioned something about how he thinks that Doctor Who is being
polluted. I
polluted.
totally want to talk about that.
Yes, polluted, or how did he put
Eating
it?
itself, cannibalism.
Cannibalism,
yes. And Colin Baker, like I said, the way he explained, he goes, no, I don't think so. He says, I think that's what Doctor Who is all about. Bringing the family together, bringing up that history and reminding us of where we came from and where we're going. So and David Banks literally got up and went and hid behind the couch.
Hid behind the sofa.
His point was that in their era, when it started to become so self-referential that we're pulling stuff from the, you know, the old Cyberman stories out to go, look at this, we did this, we pulled this out, hey, we tied this in. That by the time we lead up to the 50th, and what's happening now, that the show has almost become too reliant on itself to continue to tell stories, because we keep bringing back monsters. I assume this is kind of what he would have elaborated
so,
on.
yeah.
I'm kind of filling in some of the
Well,
blanks.
Colin, I think, was giving him the daggers.
Yeah, well, it was that was kind of one of those where
Well, 'cause-
David offered his opinion and everybody out there kind of went,
It got really quiet
got
in the
frigid.
audience. It did. And David's like, well, maybe not. He set the microphone down. And I don't think anybody was, wanting bad or ill things of what he said. I think everybody was contemplating how or what he thought it was. And Colin was the one that stepped up to the plate and said, I don't think so.
yeah.
So,
But I can totally see where David's coming from. I think it's an interesting point.
Because he said about having those references allows people who know the whole history of the show to notice those things, but it doesn't bog down people who are coming in new.
exactly.
Well, I mean, it's like what we've done with Keith, is anytime, the Silurians are in this episode, you're going to have to go back and watch this, this, and this to really appreciate the whole history. But you can just as easily sit down and watch.
You didn't have to do that with him. He could have just watched straight through.
You just
but
as
you
easily
wanted,
could have watched
but you
Cold
wanted
Earth
him.
100,
You
yeah.
wanted
Yeah.
him to have their appreciation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got him to watch those. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just totally, again, Colin stepped up and just, because of his love for Doctor Who, totally understood it, totally good it, and was able to explain, no, I don't think that's the way it is. I think it's this. And David, he just got up and went and tried to hide.
Uh-huh.
Like I said, I think I don't get me wrong. I see both points of view, and I personally agree with Colin. As a fan, I like the set for info. I like the fact that we're calling back. Oh, we got the Zygons at the 50th. I love all that kind of stuff. But I can kind of see where David's coming from. That the show has become so dependent on itself to keep moving forward that at some point in time, you make it inaccessible. At some point in time, you reach an equilibrium point where you can't get a new viewer in without having to sit down and watch all of this.
The showrunners need to avoid, they need to keep it the way it is now, where if you know it, then great. If you don't need to.
Yeah.
They need to keep it at this level.
See, this is Big Finish, I think, for me, almost falls into that. Because I love Big Finish. I'm enjoying Big Finish. I really, really... But I don't have the full history of it because I haven't listened to all of them yet. But I'm starting to almost get to that point that I almost feel like it's a chore because I have to listen to these Big Finish audios in this order in order to appreciate this one. You know what I mean? I mean, there's so much that... I mean, it's like the vampire story. We did Project Twilight. I didn't know that was part of a trilogy. I should have. There's other ones called Project This, Project This, Project This, blah, blah.
I
But I'm trying to remain spoiler-free, so I didn't look at them.
I think I had been aware that there was... Because I think I have one of the later ones, because I got a subscription to get the 4 Doctors, and I think one of the Project audios is part of that, so I have it at home on CD.
But just there's so many of those kinds of things that Big Finish has done, and Big Finish is filling in the gaps. They're totally looking at okay, here's the show history. We're going to put a story here, 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 to kind of weave this big tapestry, which is great. I love that. But at the same time, if I hadn't seen this story, or if I hadn't listened to this story makes absolutely no sense. And it's not until I go back and fill in those gaps myself that I know what this was all about. And so I kind of understand where David Banks was coming from with that. That it's almost, I won't say that it is, but I will say that it's almost to the point where it's becoming too reliant on it. So I kind of get where he was going with that. But at the same time, I agree with Colin. I think this show should celebrate it, and very much is built upon that. And as a fan, I like it.
So to come off of that panel and then go eat and then come back to the hotel and meet these people in the pool or the hot tub and talk even more Doctor Who. This has been my favorite day so far.
Like this day has been amazing.
There were a lot of feels today. There's a lot of... This has been a rough con. It really... Seeing the unit guys when, they continually fall back into that, because we've... watching Terrence Dicks talk about the fact that he lost, we don't have Doug Camfield as the director, we don't have Bob Holmes, we don't have, all these people that he worked with that are no longer with us. Not to mention the Brig and Liz and Pertwee.
Yeah.
So it's been really kind of a very emotional. Everybody's thrilled to be here. Everybody's very excited and happy, but at the same time, everybody's on the verge of tears over what's come before and who we've lost. So it's kind of I don't know.
Yeah, it's bittersweet.
It is a bittersweet. Yeah, that's great word. It really is kind of a bittersweet con experience because it's so much fun, and as always, it's just this is Gallifrey. This is what it is. But this one's just a little. Ooh.
Yeah, the picture I got Katie Manning to sign was from Death of the Doctor with her and Matt Smith and Liz, and it kind of makes me like. I'll never be able to complete that. Like, I can get Matt Smith if the opportunity arises, but I'll never be able to get Liz Sladen. Ever. So.
It's been a very good day. I've been impressed with the panels, the layout. You can definitely tell when Billy Piper's panel was going on because we walked out and we're like, wait a minute.
Where is everybody?
Where'd everybody go? You can walk around without bumping into anybody. I was like, oh yeah, it's 5 o'clock. Billy Piper's panel's going on.
Which I gotta admit was the absolute best dealer's room experience I could walk right up to tables. I didn't have to jostle and push or have some kid in a giant box costume crashing into my back because he wasn't watching where he's going and he's 4 times as wide as he thinks he is. All those horrible things that happen to come. Didn't have any of that. It was just leisurely got to talk with the vendors and do you have this and we didn't have that blah 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 and you just do the thing and genuinely looked, didn't just kind of okay, I didn't see anything I wanted. Picked things up, looked at the back, looked at the prices. I could get to the tables.
But I mean,
so that was really cool.
Yeah.
Where's everybody? They're next door. I'm in here.
And that's not to say that it was overly crowded. It wasn't a good experience in the dealers prior to, but it was just more enjoyable with Billy Piper's panel going on to be in the dealer's room.
As I said, it's just one of those things. We've all had that dealer's room experience. So when I say that, everybody knows, yeah. Not necessarily this one. Not necessarily Galley, but just in general. We've had that dealer's room experience. So, yeah, this was yet another in a long line of enjoyable days. Well, what do we got next? So tomorrow is Sunday. Oh, the last day. More feels. So we'll be doing the Billy Piper interview, the Arthur Darvill interview, and then
Paul McGann's got another one too that we were.
The Two Doctors is both Colin and Paul.
Yeah,
that's
so I definitely think we need to do that. And then a celebration of Web of Fear being discovered is tomorrow. There's all kinds of stuff, and then of course the year in review and closing ceremonies.
Yeah.
So all kinds of good stuff, and we will of course continue to attempt to bring you as much of this as we can, because we love you, and thank you so much for listening. Yeah. I hope you had a good time on Friday Night Who. If you were able to join in, we kind of peeked in a little bit, but we were actually getting ready to record one of these, so we didn't have to sit in with it. And then a sad note, I'm not going to be able to get my book done. I think I'm almost to the halfway point of is it Spiral?
Spiral Scratch.
I'm almost to the halfway point of Spiral Scratch, but it would mean I'd have to basically hole up here and read tomorrow. I'm not going to do that. I'm a galley, so. I'll have a report on that at some other time. So you don't have to worry about reading that one if you were obsessing over your homework.
I got it read.
Free you of that responsibility until later.
I got that read on the plane over.
It's cheating.
I started it on the plane over, but I didn't have 15 hours in an airplane either.
It wasn't 15 hours, it was 5.
You had a really long flight.
Yeah.
You were just up for 15 hours.
Yeah. Because I got up for school and then work, and no, not work. And then, after school, I came home. I got ready to go. I went to the airport in Toronto, so that was like an hour, 2 hours.
And we've established that Toronto is not, in fact,
on the east
Montreal.
west coast.
Is it Montreal? Is that the one I'm thinking of that's right above?
No, you're thinking of Vancouver.
Vancouver. Montreal is...
You're trying to add stuff.
Montreal is in Quebec, which is to the east of Ontario.
He's going to have you planted somewhere else besides Canada before the day's over.
Once again, we've established that Traveling the Vortex does not do geography.
No, it's Sean that does not do geography.
As a duly authorized representative of Traveling the Vortex, I don't do geography. I don't know why. I just seem to think that you were from the west coast of Canada.
No.
I know you're not.
No.
But
closer to the east coast of
Yeah.
Canada.
All right. Well, I think with that, we're with yet another failed geography lesson from me. I think that'll do it for us. So, signing off from Gally.
Sorry, I got to hiccups. I'm Mel.
Michelle.
I'm Sean. Thank you very much, and good night, everyone.
Bye, guys.
You have been listening to Traveling the Vortex. Doctor Who and all of its associated programs are owned and trademarked by the BBC. No infringement is intended or implied.